Fam, what's good with you? Look, fam, look, this is just a quick public service announcement from your boy. Look, fam, check out the 2A-N-LA official merchandise store. We got some of the hottest gear out there, whether it's your Right to Bear Arms cap or your 2A-N-LA Love Guns cap or that Love Guns tumbler. That's no joke. And for you more sophisticated folks, you know you got that Love Guns wine chiller. All right. If you look down in the description of the video, you'll see the link to the official 2A-N-LA store. 100% of the proceeds from the store go directly back into the channel to bring you better content. All right. Thanks. Let's get this video rolling. YouTube family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A-N-LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. You shouldn't take it as fact. You shouldn't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you are new to the channel, fam, I want to say welcome. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe. I think you are going to enjoy the content. If you don't, look, fam, you can always unsubscribe later. If you are an existing supporter, fam, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, let's get it rolling. Look, fam, this is one that I took my time about putting out because I wanted to put a sufficient amount of rounds through the firearm. And now I've probably got between 750 and 1,000 rounds through it. And I can tell you that it does not disappoint. This firearm had been on my wish list for quite some time. And it seems like every time I was in a position to go out and pick it up, some other firearm popped up out of nowhere. I was like, oh, I gotta get it, right? And that kept happening and happening and happening. And well, finally, I pulled it off. I was able to get it. And the reason why I'm stumbling is because the gun didn't disappoint. A lot of times you hear about guns where people talk about, oh, what a great shooter it is. Oh, and this and that. Oh, and the fit and finish is so good. And oh, blah, 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 right? And then when you get it, people have hyped it up so much that by the time you finally get it, you're disappointed, right? You're like, oh, like it's good, but your expectations were here and the gun ended up being like there, and right? So I was a little worried, to be honest, because this one had been sitting out there. It wasn't like a fast instinct buy. I had targeted it. It was out there, had been out there for probably the better part of a year and a half or more on my kind of to cop list. And so I was worried when I finally got it, it was going to disappoint. Fam, I got to say, it did not. It did not. And without further ado, let me show you 2A-N-LA's Beretta 92X performance, fam. This gun is drop dead sexy. And unlike almost every other firearm in my collection, I have done nothing to this firearm. It came out the box just like this. Beretta did their thing relative to the 92X performance. Now, there's a couple of variations of this. There's the one that I have, and then there is a lighter framed version, and I'll put the other model number down here. This is a heavier full-size firearm. This is Beretta's kind of top of the line competition pistol. I've had the chance to shoot the lighter version and the heavier version, and I was, look, when I shot the lighter version, when it got in my hand, I was amazed how light it was. But because it's lighter, obviously, there's more recoil impulse in that gun. Not to say that it's not perfectly manageable or anything like that. There is a distinct difference, though, in the weight on this one and the weight on that one, and the recoil impulse on this one versus the recoil impulse on the other one. And for me, I'm so glad I got the heavier gun. It's heavy, but the weight is distributed really, really well, and it shoots so accurate. I remember the first time I took it out, I had my Staccato P with me, and this was pre me getting it ported. And I mean, this gun, my groupings was right there. And of course, my Staccato P has a Leopold Delta Point Pro on, and this one I'm shooting iron sights. But boy, it was accurate from like 10, 15 yards. Man, I was blown away by how easy this gun shot, by how little recoil it had, by how accurate it was, how it felt in my hands. I'll put up the specs right up there so you guys can check that out. Again, this is meant to be their competition pistol. And before I get started, nothing in the magazine, nothing in the firearm. All right, all good as far as that goes. So one of the things that I like about it, it's got kind of like an extended mag release on it. All of the controls are very easy to access. They're kind of wide. Hopefully you guys can pick that up. They're a lot wider than a lot of the other firearms that I shoot, and so I felt like, oh, like easy to control, but are they going to be in a way? But no, I mean, they kind of even help with the purchase of the firearm, so I thought that was great. It's not ambidextrous as far as, you know, the mag release. It's got a safety there. That part is ambi. It's got a really good trigger. And I was trying to think of a comp. What would be a comp for the Beretta 92X? And I kept thinking about it, and all of a sudden it popped in my head. And once it did, it was obvious. But I would say if you're looking for a comp, if you're thinking, what's the closest comp out there to the Beretta? I would tell you that it is the CZ Shadow 2. The two shoot very similarly. They're similarly weighted. They feel the same. They both got really, really great triggers. And so if I were comparing the 92X to another gun, I would compare it to that CZ Shadow 2. You can see very similar in size and look. And they shoot. They shoot very much the same. Now, if you guys watch the channel, you know I use my CZ Shadow 2 for a lot of my competitions. And if I wasn't so familiar with the CZ Shadow 2, if I had bought the Beretta first, like, I would be just as comfortable shooting a competition with the Beretta. I mean, it feels very similar. Like I said, I really don't have anything bad to say about it. And usually I can always find, you know, a couple of flaws or whatever. The only thing I would say to this, which is also very similar to the CZ Shadow 2, is that the slide is very kind of thin. And so it's not as easy to rack. A lot of people will complain that when they try to come over the top, although it's very serrated, it's just not a knife. If you got big hands like I do, it's not a lot to grab onto. I'd say that the CZ Shadow 2 is very much the same way. You can see that slide is down in there, and so it's a little bit more challenging to rack. But yeah, fam, back to the 92X performance. Yeah, I love, love, love this firearm. It is, man, like I said, it feels great in the hands. I don't think I'm going to change a thing. And you know, fam, for me, that's a rarity. When I look at a gun, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do anything to it because I think it is so complete. The only thing I considered is maybe changing out these grips for like some lock grips, but they look so good and they complement the gun so well that I don't even think I'm gonna do that. So yeah, fam, I love the 92X performance. If you guys are considering a 92X and like I said, you want a comp, I say the CZ Shadow 2 is a really good comp. to the 92X. They both are outstanding shooters. You can't go wrong with either one. But man, I love it. All right, that's it for this episode, fam. Until next time, as always, let's take care of one another, and peace.